It's the Riot Podcast. This is the Tuesday, August 8th edition. And if you're watching the video version of the podcast on our RadioU Riot YouTube or Facebook, you would see the remnants of Krispy Kreme donuts. We had a food fight this morning.
Yeah, we did.
Of course, you can also watch that on the RadioU Riot Facebook page and YouTube channel. The donuts we tried today, Krispy Kreme's new pumpkin spice collection of donuts that they put out. It launched yesterday, August 7th. And for many people, I think we even heard this maybe a little bit from you yesterday, that it's too early, some would say, for pumpkin spice to start making its way everywhere.
It is pretty early. Does it feel like fall to anybody yet?
Probably not many. So here's my question then. At what time of year, if you got to pick the date, this is the date the pumpkin spice stuff is allowed to start, where it actually feels appropriate, what date would that be?
That's a good question. I think for me, because I'm looking now, I wanted to know how long it went for usually.
Mm-hmm.
We know like the head of pumpkin spice is probably Starbucks, right?
Of course.
Most people would agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
And traditionally it says the pumpkin spice ends in like November.
Okay, makes sense.
Like later November for pumpkin spice. So now I think about it. So we've got right now August, September, October, November. I think probably early September it can start.
Yeah.
September. We can do September, October, and then right when we get to Thanksgiving, I think once we get to Thanksgiving, pumpkin spice done.
Yes.
Over.
Makes sense.
That gives you a full 3 months. That gives you 12 weeks of pumpkin spice.
I think what's happened is, in my expert, humble man's opinion, is that people, when it gets into November, they start to get the itch for Christmas stuff. And so they start to leave pumpkin spice behind and move on to more Christmassy flavors then. And so, therefore, they're already done with pumpkin spice by that time.
Yep.
They're done with pumpkin spice earlier, but they want it earlier because they still like it and they still want to enjoy it. And thus is why pumpkin spice is now out on August 7th. So I think we've kind of done this to ourselves as a people and as pumpkin spice fans. I think pumpkin spice feels appropriate. I think you're actually talking about a couple weeks in to September. And the reason I say that is Labor Day clearly still a part of, like, that's the end of summer, really.
That's the end of it, yep.
But for most of the country, I would say still, I think even when you get a couple weeks into September, the weather tends to still feel pretty closer to summer than fall.
Yeah.
Like, how many leaves are changing
it's still hot.
In early September?
Early September for most places, it's still hot.
So,
like, you were doing pool. People were doing boats on Labor Day.
Yeah. But the issue is that pumpkin spice also kind of goes hand in hand. I feel like it's kind of like football season, and football season now starts for college. I mean, we're talking NFL preseason's already started. College starts.
But this isn't real yet.
But even college starts Labor Day. Like, that's when it really gets started.
NFL Week 1 starts September 10th. And that's the weekend after Labor Day.
And for people that don't care about football, maybe pumpkin spice season is their football in a way. Like, this is how they know we're moving through the year. As football fans, we would love to have football earlier and earlier every year. So I understand why it's moved forward. And if you do like pumpkin spice and football, sometimes they go hand in hand. You want to have some pumpkin spice for those early football games. But I think for it to feel seasonably appropriate, you're talking like September 15th, around there.
See, I thought September 14th
after Labor Day
is what I thought.
Yeah, either way, well after Labor Day, at least a week after Labor Day.
Yeah, I'm with that.
I think that would be appropriate.
I agree upon that because now that we just tried it, what is today, August 8th?
Uh-huh.
Now we're not talking pumpkin spice.
What do you mean?
It's over.
This is it?
We just did it. Hopefully everybody was ready.
Yeah.
Because it's over now.
Well, then if this is the last time we can talk about it, I got one more question.
Yeah.
What is the premier pumpkin spice item then? Because there's pumpkin spice everything these days.
That's a big question. It's not donuts.
You don't think so?
No.
I think pumpkin donuts are in the equation of possible best pumpkin spice item.
For donuts?
I think the donuts are better than everybody talks about the pumpkin spice latte. I think donuts are better than the latte for sure.
What about the goldfish?
Any other
Because on
ideas?
this list here, it's ranked number 1.
No, it's not.
It is. It's ranked number 1.
I feel like I think they were good, but
Number 2, we've got the cereal, pumpkin spice Cheerios.
I bet you those are good.
What else we got here? Twinkies, pumpkin spice Twinkies. That's near the top of this
Makes
list.
sense. The natural
Marshmallows.
combo. Okay, that's
we got
definitely wrong.
The pumpkin spice latte.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, bakery pumpkin pudding.
See, are we not? Is it not donuts?
Pumpkin spice hot chocolate.
It's got to be donuts.
Dairy Queen pumpkin by Blizzard.
No, definitely not.
What about pumpkin spice enhanced cookie dough?
That doesn't sound as good. Doesn't sound, I can't think of, especially not even these Krispy Kreme donuts, but you go to like a fair or something, like a fall festival that has like freshly homemade kind of style, like your local donut shop doing a pumpkin donut. That's got to be the best thing.
So are you thinking pumpkin or are you thinking pumpkin spice?
What's the difference? They're the same thing.
There's a difference.
It's just different
Well,
name. It's the same thing.
Then what about pumpkin pie?
Yeah, but that's different.
Oh, now that's different.
Yes.
That's different. What about pumpkin roll?
Pumpkin roll is good.
Pumpkin roll is the top item if that's allowed to be in these,
Yeah,
I think.
I agree with that.
Pumpkin roll is fire.
Yeah.
It's so good every time.
Yeah, pumpkin pie good too, but pumpkin roll, pumpkin roll is better than just about any other pumpkin thing.
I think so too.
Pretty sure on that.
We agree on that.
This is a lot of pumpkin talk for August, but that's the way some people want it.
And this is the end of it. This is the end of it.
This is it. Until another new pumpkin item comes out.
Hopefully there's no more.
Enjoy the podcast.
See you guys.
Add a little riot to your Instagram feed. Follow at RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
You got to see this video. It's from San Diego, California. San Diego. Where a family has mistakenly, a family of bike enthusiasts, clearly, mistakenly left their garage door open. And you do that, and the wrong person walks by, and who knows what can happen, right?
Steal all your bikes.
That's right. And they have so many that how would they even notice that one was missing? Is probably what he was thinking.
Yeah.
And so thief wanders in to the open garage door, but then what do you see come running out of the house through the door that connects the house to the garage, but a golden retriever. And so you're thinking, here's the family dog to save the day. He's gonna nab this bike thief, right?
Yeah.
But instead, the family dog, this pudgy golden retriever, just soaks up all of the love from this guy.
Pretty on brand for a dog, I feel like.
The dog even goes full on lay down and rub my belly type love.
Yeah.
He's presenting his tummy to this guy. Dogs aren't supposed to do that unless they really trust you and love you.
That's not true. My dog Jim does that for every single person he's ever seen. Yeah.
He'd be a bad guard dog, just like this dog was. For a full-on probably minute, this guy, who was already walking out of the garage, he was going to get away scot-free. But then the dog comes around, and the guy's like, no, I'll turn around. I'll give this dog all the attention it wants. And so loves the dog there for a full-on minute. He even, you can hear him saying, you're the coolest dog ever. You're the coolest dog I've ever known. I love you. And he's able to make an escape. It was obviously caught on security cameras they have set up in the house. And so now they put out this video hoping they can figure out who this bike thief is.
Yeah, I feel like most people think that their dog may do better in a situation like that, but they wouldn't. No one's dog is a guard dog. If you have a dog that lives in your house, 90% of dogs would do the exact same thing.
We've coddled them too much.
Yeah, there's nobody's dog yet again is going to be mean to some intruder. If your dog is going to be mean to an intruder, that just means you've done a bad job raising your dog.
Yeah. Well, I think Saphira the dog for me would still scare somebody away. She may not bite them, but she'd bark at them so much that anybody unfamiliar, she does She does not take kind to in that way. But I don't know. It is. If the guy wasn't stealing a bike, it'd be a really cute video.
Yeah.
But clearly, it is kind of a reminder though, because he's just embracing the dog. Saying stuff like "I love you." He's it reminds you criminals are people too. Also reminds you that this dog is the worst guard dog in the entire world.
Yeah, I'd say so.
It could not have done less. For a while, I thought maybe this dog is like buying time until somebody can catch him. Maybe it's a genius dog. No, it was just dumb. Just wanted love.
Find more Riot content online. riot.radiou.com.
If I let a spider bite me, maybe I'll turn into Spider-Man. You never had that thought process?
When I was a child, I wasn't like a huge Spider-Man fan.
Okay. So did you ever think like, oh, maybe if I get exposed to some kind of gamma radiation, I could turn into the Hulk or something like that?
No, I never really went through a phase like that where I just like thought really silly things, or at least I don't remember that.
You didn't have any kind of a little delusional thoughts because you just didn't understand? Maybe
when I was like really young, and now I've gotten to the point where I've forgotten, which is better that way.
Well, I mean, I think it's somewhat normal for children to believe that, but most children don't ever get bitten by a spider and then just for the purpose of trying to become a superhero. But that's exactly what I have here in Bolivia, the country of Bolivia. I have an 8-year-old boy, huge Spider-Man fan, and he was out and about playing wherever kids play in Bolivia, and he came across not just any spider. He came across a black widow spider.
I'm in danger.
That's a serious spider.
That's one of the worst of all, some might say. And so he, though, not afraid of the black widow spider. In fact, maybe drawn to the black widow spider because of the markings on it. It looks like it would give you superpowers when you look at it.
It does.
The little red hourglass on the black background. It kind of looks heroic in a way. It looks like a superhero's emblem.
Well, it is.
It is.
I
guess Black Widow.
You've never heard of Black Widow?
Yeah, that's right. She did not get her powers from a spider. But this kid, enticed by the spider, huge Spider-Man fan, he manages to pick up and coax this spider onto him and allow the spider to bite him. The Black Widow spider bites this child, this 8-year-old child. And so,
what a strong kid. I mean, he wanted those powers. He was locked in.
He really did. He's like, I need some great power so I can have some great responsibility, he was thinking.
And so he let a spider crawl on his body. You know how afraid I was of spiders when I was a little kid?
Yeah.
Strong. I mean, he knew what he wanted.
Yeah. He went after it. And at first, although he started apparently feeling some symptoms, as of course you would, he went at least, they say, about 3 hours where he dealt with the pain and agony that come with a spider bite, like body aches and muscle spasms. He probably thought that it's
working. He
working.
was transforming. Yeah.
I'm getting stronger, he was thinking. I can feel it. But,
hey, becoming a superhero isn't easy. I'm going to have to go through some pain to get Spider-Man's powers.
And you know what? If you're a superhero, if you're Spider-Man, you cannot let anybody know.
No.
You got to have a secret identity. So
especially if you're Spider-Man.
Yeah. You can't just go be blabbing to mom, because then that could put her in danger. And so he went about 3 hours before it finally got so bad that he had to confess to his mom that he had allowed a colorful spider to bite him. And at that point, he was taken to the hospital. They called in some experts, blah, blah, blah. Eventually, they gave him the right treatment, and this little kid survived, which still kind of makes him a superhero. I don't think most 8-year-olds, you get bit by a black widow spider, that feels like that could be deadly to most people, especially when you're deadly. That tiny.
And like going for 3 hours, like there's no way I would have even made it that long.
Yeah.
That sounds like such a long time. Yeah, for me, that's a no-go. Yeah. Not even for Spider-Man's powers.
It wouldn't be worth it.
He would have gotten like Black Widow's powers, which is way less cool.
And all those superpowers, sometimes, I mean, they could be nice, but they also, as we've seen in the movies, they can be a lot of trouble.
Way too much trouble, especially for an 8-year-old. Too much to handle.
You can't handle
He wasn't ready.
How many 8-year-old superheroes do you know?
Very
Not
few.
many.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, Radio U.
I have here the number one thing that people notice when they look at your dating profile. The top thing they're going to see.
Nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Is everyone ready?
There's a lot of pressure right here. the number one thing that people notice when they are swiping through Tinder or Bumble or whatever it is your smile.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, for you, that's good, right? Are you smiling in your pictures?
I'm a big smiler.
Yeah.
I pretty much smile in every photo I'm in, I think. I don't know if I have any pictures of myself where I'm not smiling.
You got chompers like that, you got to show them off, you know?
That makes sense.
So it makes sense. And it is true that what it says here is it's not what your smile looks like, although I'm sure that's important, but more so, are you smiling or not smiling?
It's important.
That's what people want to know. You don't want to have a dating profile pic, your lead-off picture. You do not want that to look all dour and sad or too serious. You want to look like you're a happy, fun-loving person that likes to have a good time.
Yeah, you have to. And I think, too, if you aren't smiling in your photos, when I would go through on the dating profiles, if you weren't smiling in your photos, like if you didn't have a single photo smiling, showing teeth, then I just assume that you've got just like wild teeth.
That could be. Yeah.
Like if you're smirking in every photo, then I just assume that you've got like really wild teeth. Because if you had real nice ones, you'd smile.
Either you're a real upset person,
angry little guy
with no joy in life, or you're real ashamed of your teeth. Which I mean, if they're kind of wacky, I understand. It is something that you don't exactly feel proud of showing off, but then again, it's better than looking like you're grumpy.
Yeah, exactly, like an angry little man.
Yeah.
You got to show off the teeth.
You got to show off the teeth, the smile. And this, actually, it not only goes for dating profiles, but this goes for when you're meeting new people in general. According to this survey, which was done for a dating app, but they ask questions about like what makes a positive first impression. What are the first things you notice about people generally when you meet them too? And so I guess this would mean when you go out on a date or just in business or whatever too, just meeting new people. The smile is the first thing, in person or online. You want to smile when you meet new people. You want to put that forward. Otherwise, people they're gonna get a bad first impression.
They're gonna be off put. I think that's important too, like because you know people that when you talk to them, they're like big smilers and they're really expressive, and then you know people that when you talk to them, they like don't show any emotion, and it just it makes me a little nervous. It's not quite as welcoming. Especially on a date too. I mean, if you're going on a date, we'll do it as from a man's point of view. If you're taking a girl on a date and you're just being emotionless, I mean, it's gonna come across as pretty odd.
Yeah,
not very welcoming.
A little bit. It makes everybody's
gonna be more nervous.
So much of the date is body language and just trying to read. You think the other person's having a good time? Are they open to what I'm doing and who I am? And if you're not smiling. That's a key. That's
and
a
if
key
like
right there.
on the other, if you flip it too, if the girl's the one who's like not smiling or being emotional, the guy's gonna start freaking out because he's the one who's like if he's trying to drive conversation. He's like, "What the heck? This is a terrible date. Gonna get all sweaty. It's not gonna be a good look for anybody."
Yeah. So no matter what your teeth look like, you got to flash them a little more.
Push them out there.
Yeah. Open up those lips. Let people see what's behind there.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on Radio U.
USA Mullet Championship is coming up. Sure you have that marked on your calendar.
Yeah, I've been just waiting for that year round.
It's a
big year for mullets. That makes sense.
It's always a big event. Mullets are back, at least according to Fritos.
They are.
Now they have a vested interest because they are the sponsor, the presenting sponsor of the USA Mullet Championships. But nevertheless, I mean, mullets are back in, right?
They are, yeah. They're back, yeah.
I mean, doesn't Morgan Wallen have a mullet?
He always has a mullet.
He always has
change,
a mullet.
But they are back in.
Some might say he brought it back, though. Country superstar Morgan Wallen. Well, Fritos is trying to bring the mullet back even further by offering you the opportunity to get a mullet for free.
Because it is darn expensive.
I mean, just a haircut in general.
I don't think people that are getting mullets are paying for them.
You don't think so?
I think their friends are cutting them.
It just happens naturally.
I think it's their friends that are cutting them in their backyard.
You think it's Rufus?
Yeah.
Rufus, hey, Rufus, get over here. Shave off some sideburns. I need to shave
Precisely.
Shave short. But you could get a real bona fide mullet that's going to look real nice, though, courtesy of Fritos. And all you need to do is sign up every Friday this month through August 25th. You can book a free, they call it a Fritos Flow mullet haircut at Floyd's barbershop locations throughout the country. You just have to visit Floyd's barbershop online and book your appointment and select the Fritos Flow mullet for your haircut that you want when you book your appointment. And then Floyd's and Fritos are going to take care of you, get you a nice free mullet, free of charge, and then you'll be suited up and ready to enter the USA Mullet Championships when they come up in a few weeks.
You ever considered a mullet?
I've not exactly. I've had family members with mullets. My dad had a mullet for a long time.
What do you mean? Like how many? Was this like when you were alive? This is like a long time ago?
It was probably, I don't know. Probably like, how long ago was it? I don't know. He had a mullet for a long time. I remember him having a mullet growing up, and it was a huge deal among everyone he knew when he cut it off. That was like a topic of conversation for probably like 3 years after it was cut off.
Oh, well,
what happened to the mullet, Hank?
If you had a mullet, then it'd be pretty shocking when it goes.
Yeah.
It's a pretty prominent hairstyle.
It is, especially if you've had it long term. People will notice when you cut those long, luscious locks off. And so, yeah, my dad had one. My younger brother had one as well. So, I don't know. Maybe that scared me off. But you think about it, too. Who's the best looking person with a mullet you can think of?
The best looking person with a mullet? I don't know if I can think of anybody.
That's tough, right? Apparently, I'm reading here. I can't picture this, but apparently Scarlett Johansson used to have a mullet.
She did. She had a bleached one.
That's a little different, though, I feel. Obviously, Billy Ray Cyrus is the famous. He brought the mullet to prominence. There used to be a million hockey players back in the day, which is when my dad had a mullet. But that was just different times, you know?
Completely different times.
Now,
when I typed in best looking mullets by celebrities, there's not many that are like recent photos.
Yeah, they're probably from like the 80s.
There's David Spade.
That's Joe Dirt.
That's Joe Dirt. Yeah. Billy Ray.
That's not exactly like, I want to look like Joe Dirt.
Here we go. What about John Stamos? Yeah, his mullet.
I think he'd look good with any haircut.
Yeah, that's true. Kurt Russell, George Clooney had a mullet for a little bit.
Yet again, these guys, it doesn't matter what their haircut looks like. To me.
Yeah, these ones are looking pretty good. But all these are old photos. No one as of new. Look at Brad Pitt with a mullet.
Yeah.
Whoa. All right,
Right.
We found some good ones.
Yeah, I guess we did. But now in this modern day and age, not as much. But maybe that's about to change. Thanks to Fritos at Floyd's Barbershop.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on Radio U.
You consider yourself a dessert person?
Oh, I love desserts.
You're a dessert person?
Yeah, I am.
74% of people do.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's according to a new survey from Crumble Cookies. I guess if you're answering a survey for Crumble Cookies, you might be more inclined, I think, to say that you're a dessert person.
Yeah.
But still, 74%, that's high. How often do you think you eat dessert?
At least 5 of the 7 days of the week.
Jeez, that's high.
Put me down for 4. Put me down for 4. Because on the weekends, on Saturdays, I don't really have dessert.
Uh-huh.
And on Fridays, I don't really have dessert. That's 2 days a week I definitely don't.
You have dessert days and dessert off days?
Yeah, Friday, Saturday, I never have dessert. Sundays, if I hang out with my family, I for sure do on Sunday. So I would say at least 4 to 5.
1 in 6 people say they eat dessert every single day. You're pretty close to that.
I'm not close to that.
You're pretty close. You're more than halfway.
I said 4 to 5.
Yeah, that's
not
pretty high.
7.
That's pretty darn high to me. You know which state eats dessert the most?
Who?
Or most likely to eat every if you had to guess, which state feels like the state that eats the most dessert?
Just like a lot of dessert?
Yeah.
I don't even know. It's probably somewhere that I wouldn't consider. So maybe like Kansas or something.
I think.
But that's like a fun thing to do. No, wait. Wisconsin.
No, they don't eat dessert.
Minnesota.
Nope, not Minnesota. You were on I think you were on a better track when you were guessing Kansas. Tennessee is the state where people are most likely to eat dessert. every
why
single
that
day.
is.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I can't explain it. I know there's a lot of good dessert options. You go to like Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, whatever. They're serving up all kinds of tempting dessert down there. So that at least that makes sense to me. You know, okay, here's the last thing. This is Crumble Cookies, right? They did this survey. How many cookies do you think the average American eats per year? This is what blew my mind.
There's 365 days in a year. I'm not a big cookie guy. So I would say probably like 75.
75 cookies a year?
75 to 100 would be my guess.
That feels reasonable.
Yeah.
The answer? 200.
200 cookies.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't know, though, because if you're considering like an Oreo a cookie,
oh, yeah, that counts.
oh, then you're not eating. I mean, think about how many Oreos you eat in one sitting. You're eating probably 4, maybe 5.
Yeah, I guess.
I could see it.
I think there's such a wide margin because there's people like me that in the course of a year, do I have like 10 cookies? You know what I mean?
You have 10 cookies in a
I
year?
don't think I have a lot. I've never
seen you eat 10
cookies.
cookies at RadioU this year.
No, you have not.
Yes, I have.
That is preposterous.
10 cookies? Have you eaten Oreos this year? Because you've eaten at least 10.
I think I have. I
you
haven't had any
a
Oreos.
single Oreo?
I think I could count on 2 hands how many cookies I've had thus far this year. Obviously, the number will go up as we move
That's
towards
wild.
the holidays.
I don't believe a word you're saying.
But I also think there's some people out there that literally, like, it's part of their day. They eat either chocolate chip or Oreos probably every day. They have 2, 3 at least. And
I
that's
used
just
to do
like
that every day.
with their lunch or whatever. And so they're just shooting the average up versus, or maybe people like me are shooting the average way down. Either way.
Hey, don't say don't be doing slander towards cookie people, all right?
I'm not slandering.
You are slandering.
No, I'm
You're
not slandering.
You can eat Oreos every night. I eat Oreos.
You can.
I
You
used
can
to
eat
be on the
whatever
track
you
of eating
want.
Oreos like every night, like 3 or 4 of them.
You are bringing the average up.
Heck
That's all
yeah,
I'm
baby.
saying. And
There's nothing wrong with
we're
that.
canceling each other out.
You can eat dessert every day.
You sure can.
And you can look great, too, doing
You
it.
can. It sounds like an ad for
Yeah, you
Weight
can.
Watchers or something.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot. Radio U.
Isaiah, if you were going to kill somebody, how would you do it?
I'm not much of a killer.
No, but if you had to,
I don't even know.
don't act like you haven't thought about it before.
Wait, what's the best answers to this? You mean to strangle someone?
Strangling? I don't know. That you have to have a lot of. Yeah, I mean, you have to be dead inside yourself to be able to do that to somebody, right?
I think you had to kill someone. You had to do that to be like that too.
To what? Yeah, but like, there's more. Strangling is so face to face. You'd have to watch them die. That'd be.
What's your go-to? What's your go-to move?
Have a heart. You know.
How do you kill people?
Definitely poisoning.
A poisoning.
Yeah, it'd be much harder to get caught, wouldn't you say?
Are you worried about getting caught, huh?
Yeah, right. Of course
I guess I'm just more of an honest man. I think if I had to
Yeah.
kill somebody, I'd just turn myself in.
Oh, that's right. You just be like, well, I had to kill him.
How am I going to live with myself afterwards?
I couldn't. I know it's a crime, but I couldn't not kill them. So I'm going to do the honest and just thing here. I'm going to turn myself in. Well, I think for me, I think poisoning would have to be the way to go. But apparently, even when you try to poison somebody, you can get caught because that's exactly what happened. Listen to this crook, this criminal, this outlaw. A woman named Melody Johnson. She is accused of trying to poison her one-time husband with bleach. She was trying to bleach him to death. Apparently, and this makes it even worse. This all began when her and her husband were in Germany. The reason they were in Germany, this guy's the husband in the Air Force. She's not just trying to kill anybody. She's trying to kill.
Serving our country.
I know.
A veteran.
Not good enough for Melody Johnson. Apparently, they were going through the beginnings of a divorce, and she started to try to sneak some bleach into his coffee. She thought that would do it. That would do the trick. And who would know? Who would be the wiser? But apparently, her husband was the wiser. Roby Johnson, his name. He started to notice this coffee tasted a little funny. and he got suspicious. And so he happened to have some pool chemical test strips anyways, and he
Smart man.
tested the water,
Never trust the woman.
tested the coffee, and found that it was coming back some questionable results. So he secretly installed security cameras, and sure enough, what did he find? But his one-time lover was now trying to kill him with bleach. And so he gathered enough evidence, and now it's been taken to authorities, and this lady is behind bars for attempting to murder her husband with bleach.
Like, you would think if you're going to try to kill somebody, like, by poisoning them, you would just commit to doing it all at once.
Yeah.
A one-time cup. All you have to do is sneak one cup by him when he's not expecting it. But when you do 11 days in a row, like, at some point he's going to catch on.
Yeah, what she was trying to get, I mean, there's a couple things. One, I don't know if you can build up an immunity to bleach. Probably not. I don't recommend that. But maybe did she know? Was she sure? Maybe she was giving him not enough to kill him, clearly. But enough.
Every day, just a little bit more.
Yeah, until eventually now not only is the bleach not going to kill him, it's actually probably making him stronger in some way. But secondly, I would think that bleach, like, you can definitely smell it, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know. I've never tried drinking it because that's dumb and it could kill me. But
can't taste good.
There's no way it tastes good.
You're not finishing a whole cup.
Yeah, there's got to be poisons out there that he wouldn't notice, I would think.
Oh, you're thinking maybe she should have done some more research.
Yeah, that's right.
Bleach is a little bit too obvious.
If you're going to kill somebody, put in your homework, you know?
Don't just grab the first thing that says poison on it in your house.
That's right. That says do not drink. Yeah, do a little bit of research, put in the work to make sure that you don't wind up like this. So yeah, she's now in some big trouble, as she should be.
She was trying to collect death benefits, stealing his money.
Yeah.
Before they headed on their separate ways. Unfortunately,
you can't do that while he's alive, and you can't do that if you're the one that killed him. So.
Yeah.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
Get a load of this. Westland, Michigan. They were just having their Blues, Brews, and Barbecue event. That sounds fun.
Sounds like a good little night.
It does. It sounds pretty nice. And it's probably all to support the fire department as well. I mean,
yeah.
What more could you ask for? Well, things went wrong at the Westland Blues, Brews, and Barbecue event because their dog, the fire department dog, they call her Bella.
Shocker.
Yeah, real basic dog name. They call her Bella. She was sitting on the front, on the seat of a golf cart that the fire department was using to kind of, I guess, probably like wheel around the event, and Bella decided to get down and lay on the floor of the golf cart. Problem is, what's on the floor?
The gas pedal.
Yeah, the accelerator. Bella the dog gets the fire department golf cart, and it's just off and running throughout the event, which you can imagine how ridiculous that would be to see actually play out. But it did have there was a moment of people being frightened because somehow this golf cart, the dog driving the golf cart, managed to drive it directly into a 4-year-old girl.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But you can imagine from me telling this story that this story has a happy ending. It strikes the 4-year-old girl.
Is that the happy ending or not?
No.
I thought you might get quicker to that.
It strikes the 4-year-old girl, runs over her leg, and I mean, that you'd think...
When does the story get better?
Yeah, you'd think that would be a real tragic. Like, what kind of injuries does she have? Apparently, none. She gets run over by a golf cart driven by a dog, and within minutes, they say she was back to eating popcorn and bouncing in the bounce house. Unfazed.
4-year-olds bounce back so quickly.
It's unbelievable.
Shocker.
It's like
Isn't that crazy?
Their bones are made of rubber.
She got ran over by a golf cart.
Yeah. Think about how would you bounce back?
Not well. I would be visibly shaken.
Yeah.
I'd be down for a minute. I would play it up too for a little while.
Oh, of course.
I'd be injured for at least a week or so.
You think you would cry?
I would probably put some tears out.
Yeah.
Because then I know, what that means.
Uh-huh.
That if I really wanted to, I'd probably get like a court case.
Oh,
right?
yeah. If you really wanted
I could sue somebody.
Uh-huh.
But then at the same time, like, they should have turned the card off.
Yeah, of course. So maybe they should be sued, but I don't know. I think that sounds like a lot of hassle, but
It does. It sounds like a lot.
I'd probably just turn on the waterworks until they gave me like a free funnel cake or something.
And like the local fire department, like, I'm really going to sue them.
I mean, of all the
Seems
places,
messed up.
of all the places to get run over by a golf cart, that's probably one of the better ones.
Yeah, there's
You
plenty of
got all the
firefighters there.
EMTs right on hand. They'll take care of you. Well, it is crazy how kids can just, with the punishment they can withstand, apparently, the beating they can take and just bounce right back.
Yeah, they can like fall down a flight of stairs and just be like 5 minutes later totally fine.
Yeah.
If you give them like a corn dog. If I fell down the same flight of stairs, I'd be down for like a week.
Yeah, that's right. We aren't as good as we once were.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot. Radio U.
You can join us on the RadioU Riot YouTube channel and Facebook page if you'd like to watch along as we try Krispy Kreme's new pumpkin spice collection. Pumpkin spice season is here, whether you like it or not. Krispy Kreme has 4 pumpkin spice donuts in all that they are offering you to celebrate the occasion. 2 of them are brand new. We'll try all 4 because donuts, right?
Of course.
Of course.
Why wouldn't we try all 4?
Why would we not?
Have we had them before? Maybe I have.
Probably. But maybe our opinions will change. Who knows? What would you like to start with? Probably just a straight up regular pumpkin spice glaze, wouldn't you say?
Makes the most sense to me.
A nice baseline. So we'll do that. We'll do that one first. This is just super simple. A regular Krispy Kreme donut, except instead of the regular glaze, it's a pumpkin spice glaze. And unsurprisingly, real tasty.
Solid.
Not everyone would go with that over a regular Krispy Kreme donut, but the people who love pumpkin spice, you're going to love that, of course.
Just pretty on brand pumpkin spice.
Then we have the pumpkin spice cake donut, which again, standard. This is not new. It's new now. It's out as of yesterday, but they've done this one in previous pumpkin spice seasons as well. And yet again, I'm pretty sure it's going to taste just fine. In fact, I think that one's even better.
Mm-mm.
I like that.
I do not. But I don't like cake donuts, so.
Now, which one would you like to do next? Because we have here 2 options. We have the maple pecan version of the pumpkin spice donut. We also have the pumpkin cheesecake version of the pumpkin spice donut. Which one would you go with first?
Let's try the pecan first.
All right.
Because I'm most excited for the cheesecake, so I want to save that for last.
All right. It is hand dipped in rich maple icing and topped with perfectly crunchy candied pecan pieces.
The pecan piece is pretty impressive. I won't lie. They look pretty good.
It smells real tasty. I'm quite excited for this one. I love maple. I enjoy pumpkin spice, and pecans are all right with me. That's pretty good. That's way more maple than pumpkin spice. I hardly get any.
No pumpkin spice.
The pumpkin spice does not come through strong. It is overpowered by the pecan and maple, which to me, not necessarily a bad thing. I like that a lot. I would definitely be tempted by that if I went back to Krispy Kreme.
See, for me, I'm not a big pecan guy. So that was all right.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't terrible, but it was not enough for me to consider that as a donut that I would choose. I think if you like pecan, then it would be good. But if you're not really a fan of pecan, or even if you're middle of the road on pecan, probably not the donut for you, but not bad either. If you're a pecan fan, definitely get that one.
All right. And then last, I'll tell you, this is the pumpkin spice cheesecake donut. And I'll tell you, I don't know what kind of the icing I got on my finger that I licked off when we were kind of dishing these out, but I wasn't actually wild about that on its own, whatever it was that I tasted. So this is the pumpkin spice cheesecake swirl donut, which is a pumpkin spice original glazed donut swirled with decadent pumpkin buttercream icing and cream cheese icing, topped with a light dusting of cinnamon sugar.
I'm hoping I get a lot of cheesecake here. I'm a big cheesecake fan, way more than I am pumpkin spice fan, so we'll see.
Maybe this will be like a pumpkin roll. You ever have that?
Oh, those are fire.
Yeah, I love those.
So good.
Sometimes those are better than actual pumpkin pie. We'll see. That's a hefty dose of icing, for sure. You get a lot of it.
Yeah, that one's good. If I had a big glass
good.
of milk with this, oh, it'd be killer. It'd be killer.
We do have to hold Krispy Kreme accountable for that. We ordered milk just for Isaiah, and they did not give it to us. It was on the receipt and everything. Big Country picked up the order. He didn't know about the milk, so it's
But you thought they would have alerted him.
Yeah, it's on the receipt. It's not his job to know.
Yeah.
So I don't blame him at all. I blame Krispy Kreme.
We love blaming Krispy Kreme.
Krispy Kreme, the donuts are good, but in all of the food fights at Krispy Kreme we've done, I don't think there's ever one where they've completely nailed the order.
Never.
Either they've been
Which
out
is
of a
wild.
donut. Yeah.
Because we go to pick it up, usually inside. Not even through the drive-thru, usually, is how I would do it, and I would still mess it up every time.
Somehow they mess it up. But you know what? We'll factor that into our score of these donuts. You want to quickly rank them and then give like an overall rating?
I'm going to go regular pumpkin spice, the OG.
Okay.
Number 1.
The glazed one.
The glazed one is my top donut. Followed by the cheesecake.
Okay.
Followed by the pecan. Followed by the cake.
All right. I like the cake one the most.
Really? I'm surprised by that.
I do. I think pumpkin spice, that's where it shines, when it's a little more dense. I like the cheesecake donut second. I'll take the pecan third, the maple pecan. And then in fourth place, still fine, but the pumpkin spice original glaze, just because it's not quite as exciting, but still decent. I give this, I think this is a 4 out of 5 food fight.
I'm going to give it, I'm not as big of a fan of pumpkin spice, so I'm going to give it probably like a 3.4. I wouldn't consider buying any of these if I went, but with the spread that we have here, I wasn't upset with what we got.
Yeah, if Nene leaves any behind by the time we come back tomorrow, I might have another one.
Might warm one up.
Yeah.
You've made it all the way to the end of the Worst of the Riot.
This show only exists because of support from listeners like you.
Find out more and help out at RadioU.com/donate.